Alright, so I guess let me start off by saying that I've done every single Railjack mission that's available, and I've been generally, just doing Veil stuff for the last 2 days. My Railjack is also pretty pimped out by this point. It's the one that you're watching right now, and it has mostly MK3 stuff, with the exception of like the special launcher that you can use either from the gunner seat or from the pilot seat by pressing the secondary fire button. I'm not even sure that you can get wreckages of those, because I haven't gotten a single one, and I've got plenty of everything else. The only other thing that's kind of lacking behind everything else is the health of my ship, which is pretty bad, but there isn't much I can do about it because I just didn't get any of the good hull mods yet. And finally, I'm specialized primarily into engineering, which means that most of the time I just run around the ship fixing leaks and extinguishing fires, and when there is nothing to do, I will just jump on a turret and fire away until something breaks again. And actually, I also want to say that I did most of the missions in public squads. I did do some pre-made stuff with my clanmates, but most of the stuff I did was with a pre-made squad where I provided the Railjack. So I did my fair share of Railjack stuff over the weekend, and it's a mess. It is a complete and utter mess. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not fun. It can be a fun mess when it doesn't break too much, but it is a mess. Oh my god, it is a mess. It's more tolerable when you're playing with friends or clanmates and you're on Discord, but it's still a mess. And I know that, whenever they release something, it's always a bit of a mess, but this is like rivaling the Plains of Eidolon's launch, and it's in some respects even worse than that. I could easily sit here for like 30 minutes, probably even more, just going through bug after bug after bug after bug after bug. It's so bad, I don't even know if I ever did a Railjack mission where nothing broke. And I constantly keep running into new stuff that I've never seen before, like today for example was the first time I entered a cruise ship the wrong way, which allowed me to fly in the cruise ship and even use my arc melee, but as soon as I touched the floor, I died. And even better than that, when I then came back into the cruise ship to finally take it down, I made my way to the console. You need to hack to remove the shield from the reactor, but instead of it popping out the hacking minigame, it catapulted me out of the ship. Or another really fun one is that if you are the host of an assassination Railjack mission and you go down there to actually assassinate the boss, you as the host have to leave through the exit the game marks for you. If you don't do that and you just teleport out or use another exit, it will not complete the objective, which will not allow you to access navigation to finish the mission. If this happens to you, by the way, don't be like me and gonna sacrifice yourself by host migrating the other 3 members so they can finish the mission, but simply go back into the tileset, run through the whole thing again, and then leave via the exit the game marked for you, at which point it will finish the objective and you can leave. It might take you a while to find the entrance though, because since you already technically killed the commander, even though the game doesn't really recognize it, it will not mark the entrance for you, so you have to find it yourself. Or, another really fun one is that if you've never hosted a mission in the Veil, you might be wondering why some ships heal insanely fast to a point where you just cannot take them down no matter how much damage you are doing. And it's because some cruise ships can fire out these massive bubbles that heal everything inside them, and they can only be seen by the host. If you're not hosting, you don't see the bubbles. And even better than that, there is a bug within this bug where if a ship flies through this field, sometimes it will just keep the regen forever. Now, this is not as big of a deal most of the time, because by the time you get to the Veil, you should have more than enough burst to take them down in just a single swoop, except for when it happens to the bomber ships, the ones that release the mines that home in onto your Railjack and do a ton of damage. If it happens to one of those ships, it's unkillable, because it can actually regenerate all of its health in between its weak spots being destroyed, and that basically turns it immortal because these ships have a ton of health and a ton of armor, so no amount of DPS is gonna get through that regen. Oh yeah, and another bug that I found today was that you can actually exit the cruise ship the wrong way as well, not only enter it, because today when I exited one of the cruise ships after destroying the reactor, I was promptly teleported out of the map, about 25 kilometers away from my Railjack. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. You can literally get stuck in any part of your Railjack, whether it's the slingshot, any of the turrets, the pilot seats, the forge, or even the goddamn floor if you enter it the wrong way. That is, of course, if you can even see the goddamn Railjack, because the most common bug that I've run into in basically every mission, I can't remember the last mission where this didn't happen, is that either a part of the Railjack or the floor of the Railjack or even the entire goddamn Railjack will go invisible. And it just shows how much they've rushed this to get it ready for the Game Awards. It is so broken in every way, shape or form. Like, if it's a part of Railjack, it will break in one way or another. And that's just talking about the bugs. What about the menus, which are complete ass as well? Like, what is this mod menu? I mean, I guess the icons look nice and I know what the mods are called, but I don't know what they do until I hover over every single one of them. Who made this menu? And finally, I also want to talk a little bit about the RNG of the actual gear drops, which I don't actually mind. I like the ability to be able to farm for better versions of the things I already have. I liked it with the lich system and their weapons. I like it here. What I don't like though is having to build the items to actually compare the stats. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, weapons actually have randomized fire rate, but you don't see what the number actually is until you build them. Now this is probably a bug. I mean, everything is broken, so why wouldn't this be? But if it's not, I really don't like that. You know what, I don't think I'm done yet. I'm gonna bitch about matchmaking as well, because while the matchmaking is alright, yeah, sometimes it's really buggy when you try to join a random Railjack group from your orbiter, and every now and then I just sit in a mission that I'm trying to host for like 10 minutes and no one is joining. The biggest problem that I have with it when it comes to Railjack is that random matchmaking just doesn't cut it anymore. The inability to choose a role now that we can actually specialize into certain roles is just bad, because time and time again I would get into a mission and either everyone would be a pilot, because everyone wants to be a pilot because it's the least broken role that you can play on the Railjack at the moment, or no one is a pilot, or you have like 4 engineers and it's an absolute shit show. And I'm starting to get really worked up the more I talk about it, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's because I enjoy this mess. Right? When it works, it's really fun and I want to do more of it. But then I fall through the floor and die, or there's like 3 bombers that are invincible that are constantly destroying my ship, or I can't finish the mission, I have to abort it, and then I just get really angry for like 30 minutes, then I calm down and I can do another mission. It's just that, over and over and over again. Oh my god, I almost forgot about this bug that just happened on the screen. This one showed up for the first time today as well. We were trying to scan the boss in the Veil, and then right before I actually kill the boss, one of my crewmates gets randomly teleported back onto the Railjack right before I kill the boss. And I could really keep going on and on and on, like the fact that every archme except the Amisha is useless because you just get one shot. I mean, yeah, you can kind of survive with the Odonata if you turn yourself towards whatever is firing at you, but the homing missiles are just too much. And I think that's enough rambling for today. So Railjack, a rushed mess, but it can be a fun mess. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching. Please let me know what you think about Railjack in the comment section down below, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.